Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Shreyasta. Today I have a brand new guest. Some of you may have seen some of her videos. She is a data expert as far as I can tell. She seems to be able to look at data and come up with some very interesting readings and conclusions and where the data leads you as far as the search for the truth is concerned. Let's welcome Shreyasta Sammal. Shreyasta, namaskar. How are you?
So thank you, sir, for inviting me to your show. It's a great honor to be here. And I'm so excited to share my research and my knowledge, which is like really not in the public domain. A lot of people might not even understand because it's so niche. And I feel like it's the right time that people are educated and they come to know the reality. So they're aware and we can progress once there is awareness. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who are wondering how many new platforms have come in social media, you may be surprised to know that new platforms keep coming up. For instance, I can think of things like 4CHAN, the number 4 and CHAN, that's a new one. Telegram is becoming more and more of a platform. You have Snapchat. You have 𝙒𝙗, K-O-O, Indian version. In fact, 𝙒𝙗 is multilingual. It supports a lot of Indian languages. So there it's even more nuanced because then you'll have to do searching in the local languages. You can find more. And then you have the usual suspects such as Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook, and to some extent, Google Comments, if you will. So, Shreyasta, I have a question where I'm trying to be the person who wants to know some topic, right? So there's also this new thing called ChatGPT, which is very, very interesting because I tried to do it on myself and it didn't know much about me. Although I remember a couple of weeks ago when I tried it, it told me a lot of things. It even suspected that I may have some intelligence bureau links. Anyway, it is just reaching, I thought. So in the past few months, we've been having interviews, hangouts with people who have been using this open source intelligence tools to try and correlate information, especially in this day and age of toolkits where there is coordinated attack on a particular individual or on a particular issue. These things can be easily caught. Kind of walk us through a little bit about how one can go about doing this. Take it away.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. This is a great question. And I came across the similar topic when I started doing my master's, to be precise, way back in 2015, and I did it from a German university, the Technical University of Chemnitz. So our tasks mainly, sir, when we're doing some project or when you're a early stage researcher, you don't even know what name it's going to manifest and come to the public. We have no idea. We just get features. This is the coordinate, this is the output, and this is the input. The input is people typing some geological coordinates, and the output is they getting a certain location on the map. That's it. So you could use this in many things. You could use this in playing some kind of virtual video game like Counter-Strike, very, very popular among boys, or the gaming industry, I would say. And a lot of other games, like any virtual game. Even I remember playing taking that duck gun and shooting at a certain point on your screen. So that is also a coordinate. It's a X and Y coordinate, right? Google Maps, Google Directions, Google Earth, the 3D part of it. So there are so many applications of this, So, but at the end of the day, what comes to a scientist or a young engineer is just input and output. How it's presented to the world, even we have no idea. Actually, even our managers don't have any idea. It's just when the time is right, everybody comes to know. Maybe it's sold as an open source tool, or maybe if people are lucky, the project becomes lucky. It's sold in maybe navigation systems that can be later used for exploration research, or by the military, or by, let's say, Uber, Ola, right? So people will understand these terms much better. But when something is starting, everything has to be developed from scratch. So this is how navigation works.
Now let's apply this to a real life situation, such as, say, the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput.
Yes.
And there is a lot of data out there. Many people tweeted about it, posted on Facebook, Instagram, any of these social media channels. So now you have a keyword, key phrase, Sushant Singh Rajput, right? Now you have this as your input. Now, how would you go about finding out all the different things? More importantly, once you have this huge blob of data, how do you start making sense out of it?
So the right, you used the right technical term now. This is called as blob, binary large objects. Okay, so these are the terms coming out from big data. You can just Google it. This technical term exists for more than 2 to 3 decades. Now, what does a blob do? It's a binary data. It's written in zeros and ones. And I think by now people might be familiar with hashtags or SSR. So the way we put input in any system is, or in our computers is, either images or videos, maybe audio. Audio is not that popular, but it soon is becoming a great medium, or text and hashtags. So eventually, I believe that we all use, let's take the example of Google, because Google is accessible worldwide, right? Everybody uses Google. So they might have written some story, they might have put some video, image, or there must be some telecom data, anything and everything over a period of time gets aggregated somewhere, gets collected somewhere. And as people talk about it, as people keep the movement alive and active, some or the other, how someone gets some data, someone, it's like a puzzle. It's like many pieces of Jenga puzzles, or like, puzzles which is like scattered all across the globe right now. And step by step, now computer keys, they are there is like a hook principle that is called, hook or lookup tables or something like that. So how it works, they connect each other from these hashtags, SSR, Sushant, or anything. So they get connected, and eventually you will see, if you compare your Google search results, it becomes better over a period of time, because over a period of time, now the computer, this blob, has access to many other blobs like a spider web, and now it has become like a big thing. So now you will get more data, and eventually now people are more confident, because politically the regiment is changing, right? Politically, people are demanding more security. They are now more aware of their rights, what can be done. So even they're coming out more. But before that, I don't think, when a big incident like his death happened, everybody was under shock, right? And no one knew that it would have such an impact, and this movement would be alive after 2.5 years. Because if you see Jia Khan's case, her mother didn't get justice. She deserves justice, right? 9 years.
Yes.
9 years. And but yes, I do believe if Sushant Singh is getting justice, I think then many other people will get justice.
So let's say I have put some data by way of tweet. Then 2 minutes later, I realize that perhaps I should have not said that, and I go and delete my tweet.
Yes.
Does this fact that I have put the tweet in, even if it is for 120 seconds, stay on the blog after, say, 1 year when we go looking for this?
So ideally, it's your fundamental right to keep your thoughts to you, to keep your opinions to you. We all make mistakes, right? When there is microaggression, yeah, that 1 second of slip. According to the rules, you have the right to take your tweet back, and they should delete it. But it's not that easy technically, because there might be old persistent databases and old systems, and it's very, very difficult to access old systems. But if a website is based on a new system, and if the technical architect has said that yes, your tweet is deactivated and is deleted, let's say in a certain period of time, 48 hours, and they guarantee you that, then that is guaranteed. But the same cannot be guaranteed for legacy systems.
All right. So when you're doing this analysis afterwards, would you be aware of the fact that, yes, it did appear for a small amount of time and then it disappeared? So you have some kind of a qualitative rating on that particular piece of information.
Yeah.
Because
yes, maybe.
it would mean that the person is not sure also, right? It could be a genuine
Yes.
mistake.
Yes, maybe I might not know what you have written, but maybe I do have the timestamp. Let's say
Right.
10 a.m. was there and 10:02 it was taken back. That's it. But I won't, I as an engineer or as the support engineer or whatever the title is, I wouldn't know the contents of it. I just know come and go. That's it. Because that remains, that is record keeping.
So, according to all the experiments you've done, what have you uncovered thus far? Let's say in the case of Jia Khan, I'm trying to change it a little bit instead of always talking about Sushant Singh Rajput, because every person who gets done in deserves justice. Absolutely, my heart bleeds out. All these are
Same,
my dear
same.
daughters and sisters and mothers and what have you.
It's
So,
heartbreaking
how would
story.
you go about looking for this information now, Shreyasta? Because it's like 9 years old.
Sir, it doesn't matter how old it is, emotions and the feeling and the thought process, it remains. And I'm a
Mhm.
human who is, I'm no, like, I am the human who has coordinated these statistics, right, to give me a certain baseline of this person. So, sir, I'm in no way, I'm just telling to the audience, associated with anything to do with Bollywood, nothing. I myself was a creative person and a dancer when I was small, but I left it because I was pursuing my scientific dream. But my dream led to, first of all, accident analysis. That's how I came across emotion analysis. And most of the accidents came from the Asian community and that also Indian. So that's how I developed a lot of things related to stress, emotions, why and what is happening, because the machines are way too fast and we humans cannot react in that case. And how it applies to Jia. So when I look at her, I came to know her via Amir Khan's movie song. She had done one very good song, and I saw how talented her dance movement, very quick, her emotions, her happiness, all that was so well choreographed, so nicely coordinated. And it's not something you kind of get it in a day or two. It takes years and years of practice, especially the expressions. I saw her expressions and I could tell that someone is asking her to do this, do that. She's always given instructions, and I could see that she's following the instructions. Because when you dance freely, yeah, like this, it's much different versus, hey, move left, move right. You're a bit more conscious. Okay, so what happens is your emotions are a bit more constrained. So in my data, that constraint does come as a reduced factor. Like I have my data, my algorithm is actually not open source, but the paper is open source. So I worked in ratios. So there is a difference in the ratios, right?
Now, yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought. I thought you were done.
Yes,
Go ahead.
just to finish, and when I looked at the other videos later, though when she was harassed by her boyfriend, because she put a lot of trust on the person who she loved, and he did win her trust. She trusted him a lot, so you could see that. And when she was betrayed, you could see that as well. Because my algorithm actually is mainly for contempt, stress, sadness, and she was clinically depressed. And it was a different kind of depression. I could say that she was hiding something. And much later in the news, it came out that she had a miscarriage, and it wasn't. It was a forced abortion, and uh, a mother losing her child, first child, with love. you
Yeah,
cannot
you
you
go through
cannot
a
see
trauma,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so I could see trauma, and I have a specific set of ratios, uh, and all of them indicated trauma. So yeah.
So, if I understand you correctly, you are able to quantify micro expressions and come
Yes.
up with some weights that give you a fairly good idea of the probability of truth. See, when we were in college, we used to, there were people who were fakus, right? They'll say, okay,
Because
this this guy's reliability coefficient is 0.1. That means 1 in 10 only he speaks the truth. And
correct.
somebody else will be zero point 0.9, which is 1 in 9 times out of 10 he speaks the truth. So do you have something like a subjectivity
Yes,
weightage
yes.
in your algorithm?
Yes, and the best part is that it is individualistic. So mine is not an AI. I have to remind people AI is really in the last, that's something you use as a conclusion, something that summarizes something. Mine is a pure algorithm. I would call it a pure algorithm. And that's why it's the ground truth. You have to feed it a lot of information. But eventually, let's say after feeding 4 to 5 videos or 10 to 15-second videos, it does get a baseline on every individual that you feed it. And later, via comparison analysis, and because it's a ratio, there is a spectrum, there is a range. And when it falls within that range, you can actually accurately, like, it's more than 95% accurate. What else do you need in today's day and time, right? I
So
believe
true,
that,
so
yeah.
true.
And you're 100% correct, because when we do experiments, of course, it goes through ethics committee. So people who are wondering who is this woman going around and doing experiments, no, all the experiments are approved by an ethics committee. So I've not violated human rights. Don't come after me. So I did all
No,
this in
this is a standard procedure whenever
standard
you're pursuing
procedure.
a new algorithm, a new idea, a new concept. You're going to be challenged, of course.
We
There's
challenge.
always going to be questions, and that's what makes you a better and fitter person, and the algorithm also becomes stronger. I'm going to
Yes.
ask you a couple more questions. See, I'm a little technically oriented.
Yes.
Viewers, do listen to this a few times if you don't understand it the first time, because there's a wealth of information being shared here about how one goes about, taking any problem and then trying to solve it in a way that is reasonably accurate across a large set of data. So
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question now. How do you deal with false positives and false negatives?
It's very challenging because, especially, I don't know what situation they were in. So that's when you need to sit with clinical psychologists. And when I was developing my algorithm, I was at the Max Planck University of Intelligent Systems. So my partners were clinical scientists. So we both we were a team of three, and of course, my algorithm was also challenged by scientists and clinical psychologists practicing for years. So based on their inputs, um, I have tweaked my algorithm so that it becomes accurate. And after a lot of iterations, like, these experiments literally ran for, I think, from end of 2017 till 2019. So yeah, it takes really very long to get something to start, then to improve on it. Yeah.
So according to your algorithm, who killed Roger Rabbit?
I haven't put my algorithm through that yet, but yes, the thing is, it's a system that I have created, and I actually don't know what to do next with it. I want to bring it to India, and I'm trying to push it. So maybe next time I run some old videos and I get some statistics, and I will show it to you in the next round, so people can really get an idea of, hey, it's quantifiable. And
And this is the last question. In your algorithm, do you have a way to do manual override of a certain computation? Because you know for a fact, like for example, somebody is a very good actor, then he can, get this false positives or false negatives going very easily. Like somebody beats the polygraph test. That's something
yes.
that people say, oh, this
Yes,
guy can
that's a
always beat
very
it.
good question. That's so. What happens is that the only way is the questions. You know, you ask them to lie. So it's like, "Hi, I'm Shreyasta Sammal. I'm a male." You
Right,
create the false positives. You
right,
create the false negatives by asking clever questions. I'm a male. Somewhere, when I said I'm a male, when you analyze it in micro expressions, there would be a certain this movement, contempt, or this. So this is not exactly contempt. I mean, that's the
right.
clinical term. And coming back to your question, you have to keep on asking really, really intelligent questions. And after asking a range of intelligent questions, you have to manually sit and actually put it in the 4 quadrants. And eventually, when I put it in an AI system, it would be smart enough. So basically, when you have data of someone, you put everything. You put everything of, let's say, the biodata. You put the biodata on it, and then you ask these wrong questions, and then the AI will know, okay, so many things are wrong. That means the person was lying, or else they are true.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So this eliminates, it doesn't matter that you destroy someone's rape evidence, right? You destroy, people have come out of childhood trauma. Like in my own circle, because I could easily identify that they are in trauma, and they were like, how do you know? You just met us. I could easily tell a person is going to have a breakup in 6 minutes, 6 months, really, because subconsciously you decide that this thing has ended. Subconsciously, you might not yourself know it. So it's very pervasive, and that's why people are scared of it. But I believe that what I'm seeing, like I see increased psychopathic activities, girls being killed. They don't know, in the name of love, what is happening. Both men and women, both men, people with men, with Hindu men, it's happening that women are disguising as Hindu women and getting married, and later they come to know that there's from some other religion, they're trying to convert them. And both these Abrahamic religions and Islamic religion, they have this agenda to convert you. So I'm against all these things. Be in your own religion. Why do you want? Well, there is no need to convert, and there is no need to kill people. Just because we disagree. I mean, we can learn to agree to disagree and move on.
Agree to disagree. True.
So these things are coming in the algorithm, and I cannot stay quiet anymore. So yeah, thank you so much for the platform.
So you have a way to kind of be like an early warning system, is what you're really saying.
Yes, it is. It is.
So viewers, you've got a fairly good idea about what's coming down the pipeline, because there's so much data out there about us that one almost can be scared of what these engines will tell you, what they think you are or who they think you are. So sometimes it can be a surprise to you. Did I say that? Am I this way? And so on and so forth. And do look at that 4 quadrant, viewers. We're going to leave that as a homework for you, because these are all things that you need to know. These days, a lot of quantification of processes is happening, and try to understand these things. As always, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Shreyasta, thank you so much for coming and sharing your thoughts. I can't tell you, how interesting it was talking to you. I mean, there is a technical side of me that doesn't come out. Today, it came out in full force, and it was thanks to the topic that we were discussing. Once again, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, thank you. No time to lose.